Okay, so I just wanted to make a quick video to show you guys the Ionic creator. It's a lot easier to see this in a video because it's very visual. It's an app made by the Ionic team, which is basically a drag and drop editor for creating Ionic applications. To create an account, you can just come to creator.ionic.io, come to this page and click sign up. But since I'm already a member, I'm just going to log in now. So when you first come into the Ionic creator, you'll see a page like this, very empty at the moment. So over here, I'll be able to manage all the pages that I have set up in my application. And there's a few options here by default. So I can rename that to my app. And I can even specify a routing URL as well, which will affect the code when you export the application. But I'm just going to leave that blank for now. And there's a few more options here, scrolling, header margin, that sort of stuff. But the cool stuff is the components over here. So I can drag and drop any of these onto my application here. So if I want a button bar across the top, I can put that in there. I can then come in and change what the values of these are. I'll just call them button 1, button 2, just because I'm really uncreative. And you can also even link these to another page, which I'll do in a little bit. You've got all the sort of typical components you'd expect from an Ionic application down here. We can create forms by dropping in a form component there. And then I can also throw some inputs and stuff like that in there. The Ionic creator does seem a bit buggy at the moment. It is still in beta, so it's definitely not perfect, but it is pretty cool. So I dropped an input in there. I can set that to be, say, an email input, supply a placeholder. So I'll put example.com. You don't really need to fill in all this stuff, but it is a great tool for getting quick sort of mock-ups of your applications, maybe to show to clients as wireframes. And of course there's other elements we can put in here too. Let's grab a list if I can find that. Here it is. So I've created a list there, and then I can put items into that list. If I want to add more onto there, I can again edit the content of each of these items, and I can even do some cool stuff like throwing in an item thumbnail here. So then that gives us a little display picture next to it, and we can even change that image by specifying something here. So I could just link to placeholder it for now. 100 by 100, and that'll throw that image in there. And again, you can change the content. We can put an item divider down below that, again doing some more cool stuff. Then I could grab one of these HTML elements here and just shove that in there. I can add in some custom HTML. So you can do quite a lot with this. You can make some pretty complex UIs. And as well as that, you can also create from some defaults that they supply as well. So if I click the add page up here, there's not many, but they do supply a few basic templates you can use, like the login, modal, side menu, tabs. I have tried using tabs before, and it does seem a bit glitchy and hard to use. But I'm just going to create something like a login screen here. And so now I'm going to show you how we can go about linking pages together. So if I click on that login button now, I can then link that to the other page I created. At least I think I can. My app login. Okay, I couldn't actually add that because I didn't put the routing URL in the other page here. So I gave it a routing URL of main, and now I can jump back into that login screen. And now I can link that to my main page. So now I've got that set up. I can switch this over to test up in the top right corner, and then we can actually see what the application does when you interact with it. So I should be able to type some stuff in here and then click that login button, it'll take me to my other screen that I created, and I can interact with it. I made it scrollable so I can move it around. If I linked these buttons to anything, that would then go to whatever page I linked it to. I can hit back, it will take me back to the login screen. So you can set up these sort of basic UIs, get them linking together. I found that the code that it does create, that you do export in the end, isn't probably the best. It might not be that usable, but certainly the UI portions of it are a big time saver. If I want to then say export this now, I can go up and hit this button, and it gives me 3 different options to export this. So the easiest is probably using the Ionic command line interface. You can just, like you'd start a normal Ionic application, you can just specify the ID of your app in the Ionic creator, and that'll just download that straight into your project or into a new project. You can download it as a zip file, or you can even just grab the raw HTML out of here as well. So it's not, I guess it's all kind of in one file when you download it. You'd probably want to split this out into separate files when you're creating an actual application, and the routing as well might not be exactly how you want it. So what I've found is best to just take these templates. So right here I've got my login page. I can just grab all that HTML that's created there and paste that into my own templates file, and use that rather than having to manually create my own templates. So I think that's really handy. I think this could be really awesome once it's had a bit more work done on it. It's a bit buggy right now, but yeah, I think it has a lot of potential to be a really cool tool for Ionic developers to use.